One.
Hello, sci-fi gangsters. We're back. We talked about this before the show. If the audience is the sci-fi gangsters, if we're the sci-fi gangsters, the way I think of it is that we're all sci-fi gangsters. In here, this is not where my heart is. But welcome back. We're back. So many people were saying, when's sci-fi gangsters going to be back? And by many people, I mean me and Jeremy. We were having that conversation. But we are back. This is how we're going to be doing things. So let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony Dinar. We got AcidTrain over here. We got Jeremy, and then we got the famous Clayburn Cox, comedian who is apparently about to jam out in his garage band, getting ready.
Ooh, that'd be nice to see, like an opening act. I like it.
Lead vocals, right? He's got a beautiful car behind him. Was that like a Camry? Always good. Is it really a Camry?
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow, that's just the first car that came to my mind. But he's got a beautiful light blue Camry in the background. He's got a baby around there somewhere. His garage is open because he wants to show off his Camry. It's what year is that Camry, Clayburn?
2010 / none of your beeswax. Both are accurate.
There we go. 2010 Ford Camry. Is it a Ford?
No, that's yeah.
F-150. But so good to have you, Clayburn Cox, as a comedian. You travel the country, and you do stand up. Of course, you can check out all his good stuff at ClayburnCoxComedy.com. This is how we're going to do the show, Clayburn. I want to explain to you, but I'm explaining to the audience, who I'm sure are zero people listening right now. But Clayburn, this is how the show's going to go. This show is 99% me goofing around with my friends, right? So I just want to have a good time. I kind of want to catch up with everybody, and then we have several subjects that we're going to talk about today, including, I'm going to look down my cheat sheet here. We have the state of the DC universe. That's fun. We have Elon Musk and Grimes, right? That weird couple. And then we have Assassin's Creed and PS5 pre-orders. That's exciting. And then we'll end the game the way I figured we'll always end the game with playing Geek Out, which is like a trivia game that's designed for nerds. And what that's going to be is just us always losing to Jeremy. So that's just the way that's going to go, right? So that'd be fun. So that's how we're going to do things here. Clayburn, what do you think so far? Do you think this is a good way to go? Do you think this is a...
Yeah.
Oh, short answers. I like it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Right now I'm enjoying a beverage. This is a lime bubbly, not a sponsor. And what I did here is I put a lime inside the bubbly to give it a little bit of extra limeness. Okay. So there you go. So let's go ahead and get to our first segment. This segment's probably my favorite segment. It's what you been up to. This is where we just talk about what's been going on in our lives. I've been having to deal with internet issues all week. My internet's been going on and off. I think I finally solved the problem. Had someone come out, look at the modem. They thought that they fixed it outside. There was some loose wirings or whatever. And then they thought they fixed it, but then it ended up still not working. So I had to buy a new modem. It seems like it's going pretty well. So I got a new modem. That's pretty exciting. But what's going on with you? Let's start off with AcidTrain. Acid, as I call him. But AcidTrain, how are you doing? What's new with you?
I'm doing okay. Work's good. Work's busy. 2 shifts a day. Of course, I'm a beautiful bus driver, as you can tell. So I get to deal with the kiddos. I did have a kid today. Now, this is interesting. I did have a kid today. Now, keep in mind, I drive kindergartners through 6th grade. Okay. So there was a 3rd grader who decided he wanted to scream profanities in the back of the bus and hit another student with a lacrosse stick. It was quite interesting. So
3rd graders play lacrosse?
3rd graders play lacrosse. Yep, they are doing it at school. So
all right, so walk me through what AcidTrain does when he disciplines these snot-nosed brats, right? What's the first thing you do? You stop the bus? You threaten to stop the bus? What's going on?
We do have to stop the bus. Unfortunately, that is something and it puts me behind, and then I'm already angry because I'm behind because I got another school I got to get to. And then, of course, I have to sit them down, explain to them why cussing is wrong. I mean,
okay,
that's what a teacher would do, right?
Yeah.
And then I have to put him up front, and they are isolated for the remainder of the trip, in which I will write them up later after I get back to the bus lot. which since it's Friday, on Monday, the principal of said school will then get the write-up and call in the student and phone the parent for the said actions, of course, which are on video camera because there are about 12 cameras on each bus now.
I did not realize that there was cameras on the bus. Is this for your own
everywhere?
collection, or
there are cameras in the front, there are cameras in the back, lining the sides, and there are cameras outside the bus, just for the purpose of, when the stop sign comes out. If you run said stop sign, it gets your tag number and mails you a beautiful ticket for $350.
Now, AcidTrain, that's a lot of money. Would you agree with me?
It's not enough. It's not enough money, in my opinion.
You think it needs to be more?
I think it needs to be more. I think it needs to be $1,000. In all seriousness, because let's be honest, you are endangering a child's life.
How often does that happen?
A lot. It happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot. I would average at least 4 times per week somebody runs my stop sign, and that's just me. That doesn't even include the other 100 plus drivers that we have.
That's pretty surprising because I always have like a panic attack when I'm behind a bus. Is the sign out? I can't.
If you're behind the bus, you better be stopping anyway. No, I'm talking about the ones that are coming at me, like from the other side of the road.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious, how many of those do you think are just oversight versus how many are intentional? Like, I will not stop for your stop sign. What ratio do you think that would be?
Probably 1 out of the 4 are I'm not going to stop. The other 4, or the other 3, I would say 2 of those 3 are not native to this country and do not understand our laws, especially in the area that we're in. And then the other one is probably on their phone, if I had to guess.
I see.
That's just my guess. Most of the time, though, as far as a whole, as far as every driver is concerned, it's probably the phone. Everybody's on their
phone.
Yeah.
So you think 1 out of 4 is not going to stop? Do you think that? Do you think that Jeremy's the one out of the 4 here that wouldn't stop?
No. All of us would stop. I would say the one that's not going to stop is the young 19-year-old college student.
Oh man, those.
I was that kid once in my life. Acid. I did not stop. Just oversight. Got honked at. Got the stink eye from the driver. Never forgot it.
Well, you can honk all you want, but at the end of the day, when that beautiful ticket shows up in your mailbox with a picture,
yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
But happening to Adam, AcidTrain, I knew I was going to do that. AcidTrain, just dealing with these horrible drivers. Follow-up question: the wheels on the bus, what do they do?
They do go round and round.
They go round and round.
Yes.
I want to get on the board.
A lot, actually. Yeah.
I want to make sure me and my daughter, we've been practicing.
You are correct in the song, yes.
I want to make sure that I got that correct. And of course, the babies on the bus.
We don't have any of those.
What they do? They go wham, wham, wham?
No, they cuss. That's what they do. They throw out F-bombs. That's what they do. Yeah. And hit other students with sticks and stuff.
What year bus do you drive?
I drive a 2019, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So it's one of the newer ones. Actually, the top of the line right now is the 2021s, which have air conditioning. Yeah, they're real nice. And what's really cool about the new ones, I say cool, it's really annoying to all the drivers at least, is there is a check for student button in the back of the bus. So like at the end of every shift, we have to let all the air out of the brakes and then walk the bus to make sure there are no students left, make sure there's no, they didn't leave a jacket, or make sure the seats are not damaged, that kind of stuff. Well, there's a button now in the back of the new ones where once you walk to the back, you have to hit the button or else the bus will scream at you. Like it will honk the horn continuously unless you go back there and hit that button. So it makes you get up and walk the bus for those lazy drivers that don't.
Well, Acid, I'm glad that you're getting your exercise. It's always good.
I don't have to do it. I do walk the bus, but I don't have a button. I don't have a button.
Excellent. All right, so there you go. That's Acid. We come up with Acid. He's dealing with these rotten kids, cursing. We got a baby crying in the background. That's totally fine. That's just
You were asking. We're demonstrating what the baby's on the bus say. You asked, so
Right.
this is your fault.
and the baby is answering, and of course the answer to that is when. All right, so let's move on to Jeremy. Jeremy, time to catch up with you. What's new? What's new with you?
I've been watching a lot of news for various reasons. I watched The Mandalorian today,
Okay, so
which was fantastic.
The second season of The Mandalorian is out. The
Did
first
Baby
second
Yoda
season?
grow at all? Did he grow at all?
He did not, but you would not necessarily expect him to. So this is actually a point of contention for me. So the child is supposed to be 50 years old, right? But we know in canon that Yoda was training Padawans at 100. So at some point in this race, their growth has to increase exponentially and then halt for another 800 and some odd years. So we'll see what they end up doing there, but it is a very, very good show.
Do we know that it's in fact Yoda? Do we know that for a fact?
It is almost definitively not Yoda, but it is a member of Yoda's race who happen to generally be very strong in the Force.
Where are we at in the timeline? What is Mandalorian set in?
So this is post Jedi, pre sequels. Yeah.
Jeremy, I was sending you a text message last night because for the first time I watched what is it? The final,
Rise of Skywalker.
There it is, The Rise of Skywalker. And I text you and I said, this is boring. This is extremely boring.
I completely agree. I don't care for either of the last two.
Right, you're one of those Star Wars fans that you think too many women are in the film. That's what Jeremy kept texting me back. He just said too many women, and starting fan groups harassing some of these.
That might actually be unique because most of the people who hated The Last Jedi liked Rise of Skywalker, and the inverse is also true. And I dislike both of them, so I'm just a curmudgeon all the way around.
I will say this, and this might be a hot take, but Kylo Ren is the best part of the whole series, in my opinion. I think Kylo Ren is the best part of all three movies.
With the caveat that I don't like the three movies, and I don't think there's a whole lot of storytelling there, I would agree.
There you go. Excellent. Well, once again, Jeremy, he's pretty steadfast. He's pretty consistent, saying too many women in these new Star Wars films need to go back to the way things were, right? Keep up the patriarchy. That's what Jeremy says. But anything else, Jeremy?
No, I mean, work's been normal. So I've been working a decent amount. I've been doing some other projects, which have nothing to do with sci-fi, but I'm every other weekend, I've been going down to my parents' house and restoring a car. So that's been a lot of fun.
What kind of car are you restoring? Is it a Camry?
It is a 1970 Dodge Challenger.
Oh, wow. Where are you at? Like, what are you working on right now? The Cadillac converter?
So it did not have catalytic converters in 1970. And since we live in Alabama, I don't have to put them on. But I'm currently in the state of trying to teach myself how to TIG weld, which I have a history of MIG welding, but TIGging is a little bit different. So teaching myself how to TIG weld and doing body work in general.
Can you teach me how to Dougie? Are you is that still a thing, dude? Is that an old reference? It's a song.
Sounds like
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, moving on. Anything else, Jeremy, before we move on? Clayburn, I think it's really important that we bring this up, that Jeremy cannot tell us what he does in his job. It is a secret. All I know is that he needed a security clearance because I was his security clearance personal reference. So we can't talk about what he does.
Is this real?
The only hint that he can give you is the background of which he is sitting. That is part of his office.
Right. So he works on the Enterprise. But yeah, so once again, we don't know. Another fun fact, and I think this is important for you to know, Clayburn, is
Should
that
probably do
I've known Jeremy for how long? Jeremy, how long have we known each other?
I'm gonna say 8 years.
Probably 8 years. Me and Jeremy are really
Well,
good
no, probably a little before that, because yeah, so 2011. It's probably like nine-ish.
We've known each other for a long time, is what I'm trying to say, Clayburn. And how many times have I been over your house, Jeremy?
0, I think.
0 times. Do I even know where you live?
I've told you where I live. I live like 2 minutes from you.
Oh yeah, I actually do not know where you live.
But it's underground. It's underground, Anthony.
Right. And Jeremy, how many times have you been over at my place?
It's too many to count.
Too many count, right? So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page in terms of Jeremy's personality, and that's just kind of the way. That's why we love him. That's why we love Jeremy. He's a secret. He doesn't let us know a lot of information about him, but that's just kind of the way he is.
The meme about guys will live like this and think it's okay, and it's like a recliner and a TV, and that's it. That's my house.
Nice.
That's right. So exactly.
You're living the dream then.
Yeah.
I do know that Jeremy has a dog. That's what I know.
I do.
I think he lives in a house. I'm pretty sure he lives in a house.
So the dog is in show business? Is that what's going on?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. But there you go. So we'll go ahead and we'll move on to Clayburn. Clayburn, how's the baby going?
My wife should be here any minute. She went to go pick up a daughter from a birthday party. So this is not like a permanent fixture for the show, but we had a baby at the cusp of the pandemic, and sometimes she is entertained by water bottles, and so I'm going to try to make this a thing. But she's 7.5 months old, has been a delight. And here's something that you might think is interesting. Are you familiar with Steve Hofstetter? Comedian. He's you've heard of him. You may just not know that you've heard of him. But a student in my class has recently designed a cover for his upcoming comedy special, which if you look up Steve Hofstetter, you'll know who he is. So that's an exciting thing.
I think that's great. What's the name of the baby? May I ask what the name of the baby is?
This is Kayla, and she has been a treat. She's been a trooper. So she's a pandemic baby. So, okay, in Lost, the TV show Lost, for like one season, they think they're alone on the island, and then they find out there are the others. So, like, for the first half of her life, she thought that there were like 4 people on the planet. And then it's like, now she's saying there are others here. Now that the things have kind of thawed out, businesses and whatnot. So
are we having chat questions? I have a question from the chat.
We have a chat question. This is very exciting. I'm very excited about
this question is for Clay, actually. They're wanting to know, confirming that this is a COVID conception baby.
So, no. When we had the baby,
yes,
we that's not how science works. That would be one of those Yoda situations where things don't time out that way. But no, so we went to the hospital during my spring break. I work at Auburn High School, thinking we would go back to school after spring break. While we were in the hospital, Disney closed, the NBA closed, NCAA tournament closed. We were like, oh, this is actually a big deal. We had heard of coronavirus. We had no idea the magnitude of it. Just we were in a shell. And so while we're in the hospital, that's when they started like checking temperature before you come in. And so, no, she was 9 months prior to that.
Well, Clayburn, things aren't adding up, because from what I understand, and this is part of your comedy routine, you think coronavirus is a hoax, right? You make a lot of jokes about how coronavirus is a hoax.
You've got the wrong guy. That's
the other Clayburn Cox.
I want to make sure.
Not this one. This is the other guy.
There's another Clayburn Cox out there. Yeah. He's on YouTube. He's
ClayBurnCoxComedy.net.
Right.
He's got a lot of really funny stuff about how coronavirus is a hoax, and this is all we're all exaggerating, right? Where this is all.
Don't take this personally, but I hate you, Anthony.
All right, so Clayburn, you got the baby, right?
Oh, yeah.
And how many kids do you have now? Are we rounding around 8 now? Where are we at in the amount of kids that we have?
Wow, no, but we have 3 kids. Every time you overestimate the number of children I have. We have 3 kids. So
it's hard to keep up. Every time we talk, we don't talk every day, Clayburn, but every time we talk, you bring up a new kid that you came out with. Is that how it is?
We've had yet another kid. This is number 17.
We're gonna pack your school bus. That's what we're going for.
Yeah. Just don't teach them to cuss, and we'll be all right.
You'll have a whole bus just for the Clayburn Cox family.
Yeah, we'll put your name on the side of it. Clayburn bus.
So Clayburn, let me ask you this. I know that you do a lot of stand-up. You travel around the country, right? With your token coronavirus is a hoax routine. But how's coronavirus has that impacted in your performances in any way?
Oh man, yeah. So like shows are either non-existent, being postponed, or are on Zoom, or are okay. You know this. The other guys may or may not know this. There is a setup that needs to happen to make a premium comedy experience. Packed in, low ceiling, everything that we're not doing right now. And so people for the first time ever are intentionally having outdoor shows and again Zoom shows. Okay, just for the people watching at home, if you watch a funny movie on television by yourself, you may never laugh out loud and you may think it's hilarious. That's just there's no synergy in the room. If you watch the same exact movie in a packed movie theater, you'll laugh out loud along with everybody else. Same with comedy. And that can't happen right now. So the shows that we are coming back into are mandated to be difficult shows. It's a very interesting experience, right? So I've had 2 Zoom shows, and one was with 7 college engineer students, and they were very encouraged to heckle and be interactive, and it was a lot of fun. Just 7 people, but at least it was interactive. I had another show for like maybe, 50 school teachers, and the majority of them turned off their mics and turned off their video. I have no idea how they felt about the show, and so it's been unprecedented. So
yeah, so that sounds like a horrible situation to do a stand-up comedy show where you can't see the audience. That sounds horrible. But let me ask you this, Clayburn, and don't take this the wrong way. Aren't you used to not getting a lot of laughs? Like, haven't you found, like, isn't there like a strategy that,
You're the worst. Yeah, but I have experienced that multiple times. Quick story. So I was doing a show, 2 shows in a row in South Carolina. One was one of the best I've ever had in my life. And the next night it was same within an hour of the first show. So same geographic region, same time of the year. It's not like they just lost the national championship or something like that. Like the town was in a decent mood. Probably the worst show of my life. And I didn't even get to my closer. It was just like, hey,
we got the Mrs. Cox handing off the baby. We got a baby handoff happening right now.
That from the back of the room, someone else had a mic, and I was just eating it, just totally bombing. And from the back of the room, somebody else on mic said, "Your time's up." I couldn't even get to the closer. I just had to awkwardly walk away. It was so bad. So yeah.
But but other than that, you're doing fine. Like, you're taking care of babies, all
Right.
8 of them, and you're doing. Clayburn, have you moved recently? I remember seeing something on social media that you moved. You were writing a lot about it on social media, so I had to block you. But did you move recently?
Like 6 years ago. So
No, was it really 6 years ago?
yes, it was 6 years ago. So
Right.
We're
Thanks
just gonna put a big
touching
black
base.
box over Anthony's face now.
Yeah, so great to have you, Clayburn. It's good to know that you're doing well. Hopefully the garage band is going well also. You seem to see everything seems to be going pretty well over there. But yeah, so should we move on to our next segment? We spent like 30 minutes on this one, which was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But should we move on to our next segment? Acid?
I think so. We got about 29 minutes left to complete our full hour. So yeah, we should move on.
So let's go. So next we're going to talk about, this is my little cheat sheet here, and there's nothing on it. There's a couple things on it. So first things first, let's talk about the state of the DC universe. This was Jeremy's idea. So Jeremy, did you want to go ahead and lead us off with something? Is anything that on your mind?
Man, there's so many things. All right, so for what's happening soon, right? We've got the Snyder Cut coming out of Justice League. So unprecedented that I'm aware of is having what is essentially a director's cut, but doing reshoots for it. So they're bringing back in Jared Leto to play the Joker to fill in the holes of what Joss Whedon finished up, right? So, and then sort of tangential to that, right? You've got Ray Fisher, who is making accusations against Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns about the state of everything when he was making the Justice League movie, right?
Let me ask you about that. Let me stop you on that, because that's something I've obviously heard of these allegations, but do you know exactly what he's accusing Joss Whedon of doing?
So he hasn't made concrete accusations that I'm aware of. It was just that he was uncomfortable making the shoot. He thought there was an abuse of power. He thought there was disrespect toward either himself or all the actors there. I believe Jason Momoa has sort of stood in solidarity with him. So maybe, so that seems to be that there was something that was noticeable, right, that occurred, which is interesting because I've never heard anything bad about Joss Whedon. So
that's sarcasm, right?
No, I haven't. I'm just not aware of anything.
Didn't his ex-wife famously complain about how horrible he was?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Yeah.
Okay.
But I also don't follow Joss Whedon as a person. So I just don't know.
Right. Excellent. All right. So what else were you going to say? So we talked about Ray Fisher there.
Well, so you got Ray Fisher. So you also have the problematic issue with Ezra Miller right now, right? So there's a video of him choke slamming a fan like 9 months ago. Yeah, it was really weird. So there's a whole issue with that, right? Amber Heard has her sort of famous legal thing going on. So there's tension between these, things that are going on, regardless of whether, whether the person's right or wrong, right? Studios don't like that sort of thing being public when, for their major actors. So there's all that going on, right? Robert Pattinson has just made the news about they might not continue the new Batman relaunch. And, the rumors are because of he's difficult to work with, he wouldn't put in the training time. So that would once again be another series that is sort of standalone in the DC universe and doesn't blend into the larger continuity, right? That Marvel has, for example.
Is that something that we want? I'm just curious. I know there's a lot of DC fans out there, and they tend to like Justice League. I thought Justice League was fine. It wasn't great, but there's a lot of people who love DC Universe. Are we wanting a cinematic DC Universe? Is this something we want?
I would like it because I think the DC Universe has a lot of potential. From a villain perspective, DC might intrigue me more than Marvel if they could pull it off. But as it stands, right, we got Joker that came out, which was a fantastic movie, but it doesn't really mesh. You're literally the only person in the world who didn't like it.
No, that's not true.
That it doesn't mesh in the larger scope, right? We have all these Batman standalone series. They are coming out with a Green Lantern Corps thing, which might help things out. But DC in general it's hit or miss, right? They haven't found the formula of, even if it's not great, it's it's decent, right? Like Marvel movies at this point, even if they're not good, you know, they don't stand out. You don't feel like you wasted a couple hours, right? You don't hate them the way that the DC movies sort of swing.
Now, so this is always the way I felt about the DC universe, and I think they're trying to make too many shortcuts. Like they're trying to get where Marvel is now without putting in the work to get there. I think that was one of the main issues with Batman versus Superman, which I actually did not hate. I think there's some glaring, like, just horrible moments in that film, obviously, but I actually sort of enjoyed a lot of the elements of Batman v Superman, but I just feel like they tried to fit too many movies into one film. Maybe if they could have just focused on the Batman v Superman part without having to get into this, like Wonder Woman comes in there somewhere, and then all of a sudden we're in this like weird, like the Justice League sort of pseudo thing going on here at the very end. We're fighting this monster. That's just always the way I felt about the DC universe. Is they're trying to they're always trying to get to where Marvel is at without actually putting in the work. Where you need to first make a good movie, and then we can talk about what we can do after that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Lex Luthor and Doomsday are two massive villains in that world, and they basically just used them as props for that movie. And I mean, and the storytelling, I mean, it was just bad. Like I think the acting is fine. Everything else is not great. But
what do you think, Clayburn? Where do you stand in the DC universe? Like, what movies did you enjoy? What movies did you not enjoy?
I'm with you that they were fine. Like my wife and I watched Justice League on a plane and didn't finish it, and then really just didn't think we needed to finish it at home. I think eventually it happened to be on television, and maybe we watched the end of it, but it wasn't like obviously we have to finish the last 20 minutes of this movie. We just didn't feel that way. To me, DC movies they're just less fun. Like Marvel, they incorporate comedy, and they have obviously serious elements and themes and things like that, but they're just enjoyable. Like if you're going to spend $10 to watch a movie, I want to enjoy it. And so, okay, just follow me for 1 second here. In graphic design, one of the big things is stop the scroll. Like if you're scrolling through something, you see 100 things, which one's going to stop your finger? Which one's your finger going to stop on because it's unique and stands out? I feel like Marvel, everything they do, it's intriguing. It draws you in. DC, I almost feel like they've become typecast on a large scale into the, like, you kind of know what you're going to get into when you watch a DC movie now. Like I could pretty much take a stab, you name it, at a DC movie. And they're, I feel like they're dark and serious to a fault. Like, what I would love to see, and y'all may vehemently disagree with me on this, I would love to see Batman temporarily just take a time out, turn on its head, and go back and redo like a modern version of an Adam West, like completely hokey on its head, just the thwaps and everything like that, because Spider-Verse did that beautifully. Like, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, they, I don't know, they just kind of went old school, and it was different than anything I'd ever seen. I wish DC would open their playbook. I guess that's all I'm saying.
There you go. There's a hot take by Clayburn. By the way, I'm sure there are DC fans who are hating everything we're saying right now, just exploding with anger. And by all zero listeners that are listening right now, but I'm just saying, like, if there were people who were listening to the show, they might be.
They're listening.
Yeah. I mean, the clarification is that this is the DC movie universe, right? I think the DC Comics universe is in a pretty solid spot right now. Right. But yeah, it would be tough to make the case that the movie universe has made the best decisions over the last 6 or 7 years.
Adam, are we getting any comments? Are we getting any hate going on right now?
No, you're not getting any hate. No, you're not getting any hate.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't know if
I would like to come at this from the perspective, because I know y'all are the movie watchers and that kind of stuff. But as far as DC and video games, I'm a player of Mortal Kombat. And the new Mortal Kombat 11 has the Joker, which is one of my favorite DC villains. And as far as character goes, they've done a fantastic job of keeping it in line with, it's it's a very mix between the entire Joker cast, of all the different people who have played the Joker, but they've kind of melded it all down into one, which they did a good job with that. And as far as Marvel goes, for that same kind of deal, Marvel, at least in my opinion, Marvel puts out a lot of stuff, and I think it's too much. I think it's way too much. I mean, I know movies. I mean, I feel like every time I turn around, there's some Marvel movie that's come out. They do the same thing with video games, and they just came out with another one. They just came out with another Spider-Man. They just came out with another.
That Spider-Man game is good, though.
I hear the Spider-Man game is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not huge on superhero, like strictly superhero games. I can't even remember the last one I played. Actually, I take that back. The last one I played was Batman Arkham Knight or Arkham City. One of those are really good.
Yeah,
Batman games are good.
But the Batman games are
the
good.
last DC game that came out was probably that one. I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, unless y'all know of one. But
what was the Injustice 2? Did you play that one?
I have not played that one, but yes, that one's definitely a good fighter as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of diehard fans when it comes to that game.
Yeah,
right? The Injustice games.
They're fine. I played Injustice 1, and it was okay. I heard Injustice 2. I've seen the gameplay. I haven't actually seen it or played it for myself. But I'm more of the Mortal Kombat and then the Street Fighter guy. I mean, I've got my fight stick sitting right here for Street Fighter. So.
I sort of felt like Injustice was kind of like Mortal Kombat in the comic book world, but I also have, I think I played Mortal Kombat 3, and then I played like Mortal Kombat 10 or something, and I haven't played any in the interim.
Yeah, when you look at Mortal Kombat, I mean, its basic formula is how gory can this get, and how wide can we get our cast? I mean, you have your normals, your Scorpions, your Liu Kang, all that stuff. But then I have not. Have they done Marvel character? I don't think they've done a Marvel character, because the first one I ever saw was Mortal Kombat versus DC, which a lot of people hated that game. I thought it was great. I mean, who wants to see Batman rip somebody's head off? I mean, nobody ever sees that. Well, Mortal Kombat brings that to you.
Sure.
And just as far as the cast goes, I mean, they've had, like I said, they've had the Joker in Mortal Kombat 11, and I think they've had a few more over the last decade that have just shown up for some reason. I mean, they do random stuff, like they're bringing Rambo to Mortal Kombat. I mean,
yes,
why not, right? They brought Terminator. They've brought RoboCop. I mean, it's crazy.
Which Terminator?
Arnold. They've brought original Arnold. They got his. I mean, I don't know what they did. I think they got him to actually.
They released
everything.
They released the Terminator character when they released the latest Terminator film, right?
Yes.
What was that one called?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate, which was fine. Like I thought that. Jeremy, I know you sent me a text the other day when you watched it. I thought that film was fine.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't great, but it didn't deserve the hate it got. It was fun. Yeah.
Great. Well, why don't we go ahead and move on to our next topic? But there you go. There's a DC universe, and of course, it's just very important that I say this before we move on, without anyone else saying anything. The Joker is a terrible film. All right, so moving on to Elon Musk. I wrote a paper on the Joker, by the way.
And no one read it. Okay.
And no one read it.
But millions of people saw the movie. And it won an Oscar.
The only person that read it was my professor, and she gave me an A. All right, so moving on, let's talk about Elon Musk. All right, so this is my topic here, and essentially, we're just going to talk about. This is just a news story about Elon Musk. Just kind of give you a little. Is everyone familiar with who Elon Musk is? Clayburn, do you know who Elon Musk is?
Yeah, smart guy, little hefty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
played the new Wonder Woman, right?
He was also in Iron Man. He was in, was it the first one or the second?
Two?
It was Iron Man 2. Well, he's married to a famous, what do you call it, like electronica music singer, Grimes, right? And actually, what was that?
I didn't know they were married.
I'm pretty sure they're married.
Wait, first of all, Anthony, why, there are three of us here. Why did you specifically single me out to ask if I knew who Elon Musk was?
Because I wanted to embarrass you.
Gotcha.
And,
Okay.
and I fell flat on my face. I embarrassed myself, is what happened.
Well, I hate your paper on the Joker. So
Everybody does.
Well played, sir. And make sure you go to ClayBurnCoxComedy.com.
If you want to read it, I think the one thing I hated the most about the Joker is his use of the gun. The use of the gun was the main issue that I had a problem with the film, because the Joker doesn't use a gun. That's stupid. Moving on, and there's other issues with that, with gun violence and everything like that. Good man with a gun, myth, and all that kind of stuff. All right, moving on. So what I want to do is I kind of want to read the opening sequence. I want to open up the opening. I want to read the opening paragraph to this news story. So Elon Musk is married to a singer called Grimes. I actually listened to her music, and she's fine. Like, she has a couple good songs. I know that's pretty. I'm sure that's a hot take if there are people who are fans of Grimes, but that genre of music, which I guess you could call it electronica, something like that, if you want to call it that, synth music, right? It just happens to be my favorite genre of music. So I'm not just being a hater. She's fine. Like, it's just the music.
Does she do lyrics, or is it just DJ? Okay.
Yeah, like synth, electronica, sort of thing, like Depeche Mode, right? The best band in the world. Moving on to Elon Musk and Grimes are they've garnered plenty of attention since announcing the name of their newborn baby. They got a newborn baby just like Clayburn Cox has, but I think this is their first. It's not their eighth. Their firstborn, but now it seems they can't agree on how it sounds to be pronounced. So there's a lot of questions on how you pronounce their baby's name. So the baby's name is spelled like this. And Jeremy, do you want to attempt to pronounce this name? The reason why
I think it's, I don't know. It's X Ash A12, right?
Is that how you pronounce it? Ashe?
Ash, yeah.
Ash. What is an AE? What does that mean?
I don't know. I think, is it Gaelic? I don't know. It's something, it has some meaning. I don't know.
Well, there you go. So Jeremy says you pronounce this.
Pretty sure it's Ash.
There you go. I think they're calling the baby X for short. But Grimes recently changed her name to C, and their baby is X. But the Canadian musician's real name is Claire Elisa Boucher. Previously explained that the Ash is the Elven spelling of AI.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Which is shorthand for artificial intelligence. So that's adorable. So Elon Musk and Grimes recently had a brand new baby. They're calling it X for short. Let me ask you guys this: is this adorable or stupid? I'll start with you, Adam, or Acid. I knew I was going to do it. I'm doing it all the time. Acid.
I think it's to get attention. I mean, yeah, at some point you want to be unique about it. But when you have names like Northwest, and whatever that is, which I'm pretty sure is a scientific formula for like baby powder or something, you just, why would you do this? To say that you were the first to do it? I don't know.
They're not. We named our baby the same thing. We spell it the same way.
Okay.
A13 though.
To be definitive, it's pronounced Anthony, and the literal meaning is loves the Joker movie. So
okay, now, I like it. Now you're lying, fake news. Stop the count. Wait, hold on. Now I'm just doing. So we're not talking about politics, Acid. Don't worry about it. Calm down. We're not going to talk about Trump, although it's been on our minds for the whole week. We're not going to talk about it.
I played the trumpet in high school.
You played the trumpet. Okay, excellent. I also played the trumpet.
I was a lot better than you.
Clayburn, you probably were. You most certainly were. you most certainly were, considering I never practiced. But Clayburn, did you play a musical instrument?
I for a very short period of time played the trumpet. For years I played the piano. And then my last day of practice, I just never looked back. Completely lost it. I couldn't play you anything now.
Now,
that's pretty good.
Do you play the trumpet in your apparent garage band that you have? Like, is it more like a thing going on?
I don't have a garage band. I've never had a garage band.
All right. And Jeremy, did you also play the trumpet? Tell me you play the trumpet.
No, I was a song and dance man in high school.
Nice.
I did not do the band.
That's right.
I did that as well too.
We famously, once again, Jeremy is a load of secrets, right? He's a book of secrets. And we recently, what was this, like 3 years ago? We a group of friends found a YouTube video of him in high school performing.
Nice.
Is it Rent? No, it was a compilation of songs, and one of the songs was Rent. Oh, we got another baby. Is this baby 7?
This is the other was baby X, pronounced Anthony. This is baby what's W. So can you say hello? All right.
There we go. Adorable babies.
Okay.
See how they just keep coming out of nowhere? You think that
that one fell out of the ceiling, just crashed through. Oh, we forgot we had one up there.
So, Jeremy, what do you think about this Elon Musk story? Was this a stupid story? Did I pick a stupid one? This seems like it was a dumb one. But, Jeremy, what do you think?
I think it's fine. I have no issue with the name. I think it's, I mean, that child will lead an interesting life, right? Purely being
that child will change his name as soon as it can.
I doubt it.
I would.
But also, right, like you have a name like that, you're already free to kind of do whatever you want, right? Like no one expects someone named X-H12 to be completely normal, right? So that person's under an entirely different set of expectations. They can kind of do whatever they want, and you're not surprised by it.
Let's list the amount of people who had rich parents and turned out to be okay. Name them. Go.
Elon Musk.
Is he okay?
I mean, he's arguably our generation's Thomas Edison. So whether or not, I mean, I think he's producing a lot for society.
Let's say crazy aside, look what he's doing, right?
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to deal with his crazy every day. I wouldn't work for him, but I'm glad he's doing what he's doing.
That's one thing Jeremy does not do. Go ahead and mark that off the list. Does not work for Elon Musk.
So there we go. We're getting there.
We're going to get there one day.
We're uncovering the mystery. So apparently the reason why Jeremy has a background, an artificial background, is because it's covering up his Elon Musk posters that he has in the background, his murals that he has, the Elon Musk
fetish.
I genuinely think he's probably a pretty cool guy. Like I think he's probably a taskmaster. Like I said, like it'd be terrible to work for him. Like it'd be terrible to work for Steve Jobs. Like I don't know why anyone would have done it, but their existence changed the world to a certain extent.
We tend to idolize these people like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, but really they're just kind of a-holes too, right? I mean, they're flawed individuals and they have their issues, and they were also born into privilege and everything. So we tend to kind of paint them as these heroic figures that came out of nowhere and became like these giants. But there's a lot of hate coming out of my mouth today. What's going on here? Why am I hating on everybody today?
And I will say they are not. I'm aware of someone else who's named his children very odd things. So it's not unprecedented.
So Elon Musk, is that that's your answer? What about Clayburn or Acid? What name someone who was born into a rich family who turned out okay?
So, well, this ties into both that question and the bizarre couples question. So recently, we watched Disney's Descendants, where the descendants of the Disney princesses are the main characters. And so the descendant of Beauty and the Beast is a king named King Ben, and he was very wise, and he seemed to do okay. And he decided to let the mean people from the mean island, like the villain kids, over onto their island. And then he started to date like the daughter of the evilest person on that island, Maleficent's daughter named Mal. So Ben was born into privilege and wise and good, and he dated the daughter of evil.
So I don't know what Clayburn's doing. He's spouting out his fan fiction right now. So that's not answering my questions. I don't care about your fan fiction that you wrote. But we need to kind of wrap up here, right? We're running out of time, so let's go ahead. We need to skip. Acid, we'll do your PS5 topic next time, if that's okay. But do you want to go ahead? I know you have things you got to do. Do we want to go ahead and try out our Geek Out game now?
Sure.
Inspired by Geek Out, not strictly Geek Out.
Inspired by Geek Out. They're not a sponsor. That you can't sue us. What are you going to get? My comic? Actually, you didn't get my comics. Our trivia for today. And how are we doing this, Acid?
Okay.
You're...
I'm gonna give you a topic or a question, and then I'm gonna give you 60 seconds. All three of you. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to come up with as many answers as possible for this question. It'll be multiple, so you'll have to add them up. And at the end of the 60 seconds, just count up your answers. Let me know how many you've gotten. We will review said answers, and then we will declare a winner.
So we're not doing the thing where we say I can name 5.
We can do that if you want.
Is that how we
No,
want to do it?
I'd say we do them all, like get all your answers, and then we'll just figure out who has the most.
Sounds good. All right, here we go. All right, so what's the first question?
Let me
And Clayburn, you're playing along too, so if you need to get a piece of paper, right? If you need to move the drum set out of the way to get a paper, and
I'm good.
All right, we're gonna start off with an easy one.
okay,
All right,
here we go.
So I will say the topic. You will write them down, and then I'll start before you do that, I'll start the timer. All right. So the first topic is everyone ready?
I'm ready. Here we go. I'm excited.
James Bond movies. Go.
Oh, this is I should know way more than this.
I'm not doing too hot.
30 seconds.
I could be done now. Tap that.
This is embarrassing.
4, 3, 2, 1. And your time is up. Pens and pencils down. All right. Anthony, just give me the number of movies that you have written down.
And of course, I'm admitting that this is bad. I should know way more than this. And so my answers are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I only got 5.
Okay. Clay, how many do you have?
I have one authentic, and then I wrote Austin Powers, Golden Face, and Michael Scarn.
And Jeremy, how many you got?
I have 7.
Oh, okay. All right.
Very good.
All right, Anthony, list off your 5.
All right. So I have Golden Finger. That's one, right? Golden Finger.
Just
You're
Goldfinger.
close. It's Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger. So we're gonna mark that one against you. We're gonna go Jeff.
Okay. So
I'm sorry you
Die
spelled that
Another-
wrong.
is Die Another Day one?
Yep.
Is Casino Royale is one?
That's 2.
Quantum of Solace is one.
That's 3.
Is Spectre one?
Yep.
That's 4.
And then that's what I had.
That's what you have. All right, Jeremy.
I've got Goldfinger, Dr. No, Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale, Skyfall, Spectre, Goldeneye.
Yep. All right.
Skyfall.
Jeremy takes round 1.
Oh, Skyfall.
Okay, let's get away from the movies. Oh, here's a good one. All right, here's a good
Oh.
one. Everybody is. Hopefully, I'm going to go ahead and give you the hint, so you go ahead and start thinking about the where you're headed. You're headed into Star Trek. Okay.
Oh no. Here we go.
You have 60 seconds to name as many Star Trek species as possible. And go. Star Trek species. 55 seconds left. If you can name them all, there's a bonus $10 for you. $10 to name all of the Star Trek species. That would just be impressive if you did it in 60 seconds. $15 seconds. And hands up.
Damn it.
All right. Minimize this here. Okay, let's start with Clay this time. How many do you have listed?
Once more, I have one that I think is accurate, and I wrote many words among them Republicans and Democrats.
There you go.
All right, Jeremy, how many do you have written down?
I have 12.
Okay. Anthony.
1, 2, 3. 11.
Ooh.
11.
Okay, we'll start with Jeremy. What are the species of Star Trek?
Human, Vulcan, Klingon, Romulan, Ferengi, Trill, Riemann, Q Continuum, Bajoran, Wormhole Prophets, Jem'Hadar, and Borg.
All correct. Okay, Anthony, what you got?
So I had Bajoran, Klingon, Trill, Ferengi, Changeling, Human, Binars just came in my head.
Very good. Very nice.
Romulan, Vulcan, Andorians, and the Zindi. The Zindi.
We don't count that.
That counts. Zindi.
I was talking about as a show.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, all right. But yeah, so
my
I
gosh.
lost that one too.
Okay, so Jeremy takes round 2 as well. So he is.
I told you this is just going to be me losing to Jeremy every time. This is what
Okay.
that's going to be.
All right, let's go.
How about we do? Is there a genre on garage bands? I think Clayburn would. Park.
Okay, y'all have to do the honor system on this one because I don't know much about this.
Like most common baby names. Clayburn might know that one.
Okay, so you
Is
have
that your
60
your
seconds.
jokes
Hang on,
over?
let me bring my timer back up. You have 60 seconds to name as many Star Wars ship models as possible.
Nope,
And
I lost
go.
this one too. I lost this one too.
Star Wars ship models. At this point, you could just write down a bunch of numbers and you'd probably be correct. Star Wars Nissan Pathfinder Model 773.
Ooh, Pathfinder. Got it.
In 33 seconds.
Not gonna help. Oh yeah, I can do this one.
20 seconds. And time is up. All right. Let's start with Anthony this time. Anthony, how many you got?
I think it's important to state that Star Wars is not my thing. But here we go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That is 6 more than I could have named. So congratulations, you beat me. Clay, how many you got?
And I just wrote Death Star and Toyota Camry. That's all I wrote on
You
my
know what? I'm going to give you 5 bonus points for the Toyota Camry. I like that. And then Jeremy has written so many down, he ran out of room on his paper. How many you got, Jeremy?
Not quite. I'm going to go 9.
9. He's confident about
There's
9.
like a half, but
Okay.
I
Well,
didn't
Anthony,
get.
let's hear the 6 that you wrote down.
Here we go. X-Wing. A-Wing.
Yep.
Star Destroyer. Death Star.
Yep.
Oh, that's not one. I just wrote Pathfinder because that's actually not it.
I told you I'd give you that one, so you get that one as well.
Excellent. And then you got was it ATVT? No?
It's not a ship.
Oh, it's
It
not
sounds
a
like
ship.
an off-road vehicle.
Yeah.
Extra-
There's AT-AT and ATST are
And
ground
ATV.
vehicles.
Yeah.
SUV. Okay, so I got the SUV.
All right, Jeremy, show us all and tell us all the Star Wars ship models.
So I should be actually disappointed in myself. X-Wing, A-Wing, B-Wing, Y-Wing, TIE Fighter, Star Destroyer, Death Star, Mon Calamari Cruiser, Hammerhead Cruiser, and then I forget what model the Millennium Falcon is. It's like a something Y-13 Carillion something. So that was my half, but
Okay.
the other 9 were the ones I'm confident in.
So this is just going to be us losing to Jeremy every time. Is that
Okay.
is this what's going to
Well,
happen?
this
here?
next question, and this will be one question, one answer, winner take all.
I like this.
This is one of my questions.
Hey.
It is in the genre of video games, because that way at least I will know the answer.
Are we on a timer or are we just answering?
You're not on a timer. I'm going to go one by one. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. And then we'll go one by one and see if you can guess the correct answer. Okay. Ness is a popular character in what beloved Nintendo franchise? Ness. Ness. Okay, we're going to go with Clay first. Do you happen to know the answer?
I'm guessing The Legend of Zelda.
Okay, we're going to hold off on that. Well, I won't say wrong or right yet until everyone's answered. Jeremy, what do you got?
My guess is also Legend of Zelda.
Okay. And Anthony.
I know this is not the correct answer.
Okay.
Super Smash Brothers.
All of you are wrong. Anthony was the closest because Ness is in Super Smash Brothers.
I knew that.
But Ness originated from Earthbound, or the Mother series.
Legitimately have never heard of that.
Yeah, one of the best RPGs of all time.
I'm sure that when people watch this, if people watch this, they're going to be extremely angry with how poor we did on all of this.
I did pretty well. I feel good about the first 3.
I enjoyed being the host of those questions. That was fun. We'll do that every time.
I should have got Borg. Borg. Why didn't I get Borg?
Why didn't you get Borg? I don't know why.
Then it would have been a tie.
Okay, we have
Yep.
hit our hour, gone a little over. But Anthony, if you want to give us any closing statements, you can.
Yeah. So I think it's very important that we talk about the election. All right. So the
And
electoral.
on that note,
Right, so,
good
that was a whole lot of
afternoon,
fun.
good evening, and good night.
that was a whole lot of fun, everybody. I really enjoyed that. Once again, this show is 99% me just goofing around with my friends. And it's good to have Clayburn Cox on. Of course, you can check him out, ClayburnCoxComedy.com. I'll say that again because I butchered it the first time. ClayburnCoxComedy.com.
It's also right there underneath his face.
There you go.
So
Why did you mention me distinctly from your friends? You're like, it's me and my friends and Clayburn Cox.
And
Why
Clayburn
did you do
Cox.
that?
Hey, we're
How many
just we're just surprised that Anthony has friends at this point.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I drive everybody away. But you can always check out his comedy. You can also check out his MySpace page and for his garage band. I'm sure they got all their music on there. You can check it out. You can sample it. So always check that out as
That
well.
garage door does look exactly like my garage door.
Really?
I think all garage doors look exactly the same.
I
So,
disagree
Jeremy,
with that.
Jeremy, good to have you here as well. And then, of course, AcidTrain. You can always check out his whatever he's doing on
I'm on
Twitch.
twitch.tv/acid_train. That is me.
Next week, can we list as many garage door type openers as
Yes.
possible?
I'll put that on the list. We can do that.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
that's the show. We're going to try to do this every Friday, and you can always tune in. We'll probably have a new person every Friday. But Clayburn Cox, it would be great to have you on some other time, right?
Yes.
He may not want to come back now because of you.
I don't think so.
That's
I don't
all
think
your
so.
fault.
But that's it. Have a good one, everybody. And I don't know how to end this thing.
Well, I'll end it by saying, see ya.